Well, hello everybody in YouTube land. Welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, Kesenya. I want to empower you through the tool of astrology this week. This week we're looking at the energies that are playing out in the sky from the 4th to the 11th of September. A very busy week. But before we get to that, did you see this week that scientists have discovered what they are classifying as a minor planet circling the sun closer than Mercury? So it's closer to the sun than Mercury is. Now, I was so excited when I saw this. It's believed to be an extinct comet that's no longer firing on its own cylinders, and it's just sort of in an orbit around the sun. It has an elliptical orbit that extends out to the path of Mercury and Venus. They think that in maybe 300 million years or so, the orbits will collide and we'll lose the asteroid or the minor planet. But then it goes in this funny elliptical orbit that goes very close to the sun, and the heat that is generated when it's in this close proximity to the sun is so hot it could melt lead. So it's an amazing little scientific discovery. Not so little, it's quite incredible really. This is known as, this body at the moment has not been named. Scientists are going to name it soon. I'm waiting with bated breath to see what they call it. But at the moment it's known as 2021 PH27. And it fits the Wikipedia classification, so let's take it with a grain of salt because, you know, things that we find online aren't always 100% accurate, but it does fit the Wikipedia given classification of what is known as a vulcanoid. And that is simply because it's about 1 kilometer in diameter. Now, to be a vulcanoid, according to Wikipedia, a planet or a comet or an asteroid, whatever it is, whatever it's classified as, needs to be over 330 meters long. So it definitely fits that bill at 1 kilometer long. So what's a vulcanoid? Well, Star Trek fans and fans of George McFly in Back to the Future, like myself, will obviously be very interested in what a vulcanoid is. Don't ask me to do the little hand signal because I just can't. But vulcanoids, they're actually hypothetical asteroids. Now, they're not believed, or that people think they exist. They're hypothetical, as I said, but they haven't been proven to exist, maybe until now. This vulcanoids are these hypothetical asteroids, but Vulcan is also a hypothetical planet that was purported to have been spotted by many astrologers back in the 1800s during solar eclipses. Now, looking for this hypothetical planet that a gentleman had calculated due to Mercury's funny erratic orbit, they calculated that there would be a hypothetical planet between Mercury and the Sun. This was, according to science, this was disproven by the advent of Einstein's theory of relativity. But nonetheless, in the 1800s, people were looking for this hypothetically proposed planet that they called Vulcan. And the only time that observations could be made was during an eclipse, a solar when the sun was eclipsed by the moon, because that's when you could actually point your telescope at the sun and the optic lenses of the telescope would not be destroyed by the glare and the light streaming into the sun, and your eye would also survive as well. So you can't put the telescope's lenses directly into the sun's rays, and of course that's made it very hard to actually prove any planets between Mercury and the sun, because generally they're always going to be lost in the sun's glare. So you can only find them when there's an eclipse on. So obviously finding vulcanoids, proving vulcanoids or the planet Vulcan has been extremely difficult and extremely rare. So I want to just propose to you, I was just so excited by this discovery of this potentially what could be a vulcanoid. Is it a coincidence that 21 PH27, this minor planet slash comet slash potential vulcanoid, was discovered just 10 days before the ancient celebration of Vulcanalia? That takes place on the 23rd of August. This 2021 PH27 was discovered on the 13th, 10 days before Vulcanalia. I just found that to be a little bit interesting and maybe quite timely. In the Roman Parthenon, Vulcan was the deity of destructive fire and is obviously where we get the name volcano from. So the Vulcanalia was held after Neptunalia, which I've just talked about on my Patreon channel with all my patrons. We really enjoyed our Neptunalia session. But Vulcanalia was held the month after Neptunalia. And Neptunalia was a celebration of water in the middle of summer, and realizing the blessing that water was to agriculture, to life and the sustainability of life, and to fertility in the months of high summer. Vulcanalia was this ritual, this ceremony to appease the god Vulcan and keep destructive fire away at bay at the driest time of year, which is very interesting. And in fact, the Parthenon, not the Parthenons, the temples dedicated to Vulcan were always located outside the city, lest they should catch fire and destroy the city. So they put them way out of harm's way. Very, very interesting. So who knows? Maybe we will discover, or maybe we have just discovered, the planet Vulcan or a vulcanoid to herald maybe the end of an age. And the reason I say that could be possible is that one of the rituals that they performed during Vulcanalia was to throw live fish into fire. That was one of the rituals that they did. And we know that the fish have been the symbol of the age of Pisces, and here we are coming to the end of the age of Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius. Maybe the discovery of Vulcan is potentially, I'm just hypothetically putting it out there, symbolic of the end of the fishes, the end of the age of the fishes. Now, I'm not a practitioner of esoteric astrology, official qualified esoteric astrology, but I thought I would mention that they actually recognize the planet Vulcan in their work. They do work with this hypothetical planet Vulcan. It's considered to be the planet of the first ray, and in their astrology, the position of Vulcan in the natal chart is always conjunct with the sun, and it's at most it's only ever 8 degrees and 20 minutes away from the sun. You'll never see the hypothetical planet Vulcan in esoteric astrology further away from the sun than that. So if you want to know more about esoteric astrology, and if you want to know more about the planet Vulcan in esoteric astrology, well, you can Google more about that online. There's plenty of information out there. So I just thought I'd mention that because the science geek in me got very, very excited about this discovery and all the possible connotations and synchronicities that it might speak to. Let's look at the best days this week. Well, be very conscious, as I always say when I'm talking about the best days to take action this week, be very conscious of the void of course moon. Avoid instigating anything under a void of course moon. So taking action when the moon is void of course will just see nothing happen. Nothing will come of your endeavors. And if you don't want anything to come of your endeavors, then do it under a void of course moon. But most of us, when we take action, we want to see results. We want to see something come of it. So if you aren't familiar with iLuna, it's a great app for determining when the moon is void of course, and then you'll know to sort of cool your heels a little until the void of course moon is over. But as for taking action, the 8th, 9th and 10th are good days this week for taking action. If you want to see something generated that is beautiful, if you want to take action that's going to give you a beautiful result, if you want to take action that's going to help you to feel more loving, or to have more pleasure in your life, more joy in your life, more of that Venusian kind of energy, that is a good day. Those are good days, the 8th, 9th and 10th. I've got some really great interviews coming up this week on the 8th and 9th and 10th, so I'm really looking forward to doing those. I think there's going to be beautiful results, which you'll all get to see very soon. So keep your eyes on the YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so that you don't miss a single bit of astro news. All right. Well, this week's energy focus, there are 4 energies that are key this week, and they're happening over 2 days. So the first one will be on September the 6th, when Mars is going to trine Pluto. Here is Mars, and Pluto is over here in Capricorn. And so Mars in Virgo trines Pluto in Capricorn. That's on the 6th of September. Also on the 6th of September, Venus is going to be trining Jupiter. And I love this. Here is Jupiter in Aquarius. Here is Venus in Libra. Boom, a beautiful trine there, and this is happening at 24 degrees, so I'll write that on there. And if you have planets, obviously, around 24 degrees of Aquarius, and I should put it here too, 24 degrees of Libra, you'll tend to feel this quite strongly. I have my moon there, so yay, bring it on. We'll talk about that in a minute because this is our energy focus for this week. But on September the 7th, we're having the sun making a trine. It's trines everywhere this week, which is lovely. A lovely trine to Uranus that is unfolding between the sun and Uranus. So that's very good. And that's tying into the new moon that's occurring here on the 7th. Now, I go into great detail about that new moon in my Patreon report where I break it down for all signs, how it's going to be affecting you, and how this really erratic but very benevolent energy of Uranus is playing into the new moon. So check that out, or become a patron for a month if you just want to see what it's all about. If you want to check out what this new moon report is all about, why not join for a month and just dip your toe in the water, see if it's something that you would like to be part of each week. I also have, just for interest's sake, I'm doing a video on the chart of America for my patrons this month. So if you are an American, if you're in the USA and you want to know all about the Pluto return that's coming up next year, you might want to jump on board my Patreon page and enjoy that video this month as well. Now, because I've covered the energies of the new moon in that video, I want to keep the focus to something else on YouTube this week, and we're going to look at the happy energy that's occurring on the 6th. So you can keep up with the astrological movements that are happening each week by joining my Facebook or my Instagram pages. So they're in the links below in the description box. But what is happening on the 6th? Well, we've already talked about Mars trine to Pluto. This is going to be like a dose of rocket fuel in our lives. Here it comes. Get ready to launch. Get ready to blast off, because motivation increases exponentially with these two very potent planets in this friendly dance with one another. We can really feel into our power on the 6th. We can take risks that pay off. We can let go of old fears. We can create future strategies. We bring positive change into every avenue of our life. It's a lovely dance that these two, potent powerhouses are doing with one another. So we're not going to be able to ignore the positive connection between these two planets, and especially in sexual expression either. Getting it on is definitely on the cards if you're in a situation to enjoy that. In whatever manner feels good to you, then these two are going to have your back to get you getting jiggy with it. It's quite lovely. So if you're in a partnership, go out and buy that new bit of lingerie or buy that sort of bedroom toy and get ready for the 6th. Could be fun. Okay, also on the 6th, we're having a Venus trine to Jupiter, which will also make those sexual experiences just even more pleasurable and delightful, I will add as well. This is a happy, happy, joy, joy energy for those who get sick of astrological forecasts that are all doom and gloom and oh, woe is me. Well, today, on the 6th of September, you're going to have the positivity that you're hungering for. Yay. So love could be in the air for some people. The dancing shoes might get dusted off and there are high fives, left, right, and center. Life is feeling good. That feeling when the sun is shining and the birds are singing and your favorite song comes on your playlist or on the radio if you're a bit old school. That's the energy of the 6th of September. Also, Venus, in this configuration, Venus is in its own sign, so it's strong and empowered in its own sign. Plus, it's receiving a benevolent, kindly trine from the king of the gods, from Jupiter. Jupiter, the king of the gods. Zeus, the king of the gods, is stretching out his hand and giving a beautiful, generous energy to beautiful Venus. So I love this. So we can use this energy and this sparkly buzz that it will bring us to heal relationships. We can use it to connect with people that we love and care about, to take a day off and just be and enjoy the pleasure of being human on the planet, to make investments in certain areas of our life, to shop for something that might bring us some sort of delight. So there's a lot that we can do with this energy that can be very supportive for us. You might be on the receiving end of some sort of good fortune with this energy. That might look like a heartwarming smile from a stranger. It might be a compliment that sets your heart aglow. It might be a special gift or a favor that just thrills you to your fingertips. Could it get any better? Well, not really. You can't get much better than Venus and Jupiter trine in the chart. It's a delightful, delightful energy. So let's break it down for all signs. How are we going to be experiencing this energy this week? And we're going to start with the lucky Librans who've got this energy in their first house. Venus, Lord of your chart, receiving this beneficial trine from Jupiter. So, your ruling planet in your sign makes Venus very powerful, and blessing flows to Libran people. There will be joy in how you are thriving and surviving at the moment in your life. You'll find a lot of delight. You know, it's the time of year when you'll be walking down the street smelling the roses and life feeling good. This can also increase your self-love. It's in the first house, the house of the self. So you might be feeling very much in love with yourself and your life, and life feels wonderful. But it's also a good time to invest in yourself, to spend money on yourself. Maybe you need some new shoes. Maybe you need to, I don't know, join a gym so you feel better about your body or something. It's a good time to invest in the self. It's a good time to invest in anything that makes you feel attractive as well. So you will be feeling attractive, and you might think, oh yeah, I look really hot in those jeans when you're trying them on in the shops or something, and so you buy them because you're feeling good in them, you're feeling attractive, you're feeling beautiful. This is an energy for good fortune that you bring to yourself. It's not so much good fortune that comes from outside of you, it's good fortune that you generate through your own endeavors. And of course, any of your actions, any of your endeavors, anything that you instigate under this energy can be very lucky, can be very blessed, and can really give you fruitful results. So a delightful energy. The divine has your back, Libra, on the 6th of September. And with Jupiter in the 5th house of blessing, of fortunate risk-taking, this is the second luckiest house in the horoscope. Taking a risk can prove to be very lucky indeed for you. So, you know, depending on your natal chart and its abilities, you might like to go buy a lotto ticket on this day. It could pay off quite well for you. So that's what we're seeing, and the energy that we're entering into with Libra and the trine between Venus and Jupiter. Moving along, let's now look at Virgo. Virgo rising, sun or moon. The energy here is falling between Libra and Aquarius, Venus and Jupiter in your 2nd and your 6th house. Well, this is where we generate our own self-sufficiency with resources, and so that realm of life is going to be very blessed for you. Your ability to generate your own resources that support your body's journey in this lifetime. So it's a great energy to plant a veggie garden, buy those chooks, preserve those peaches. Like, really getting back to basics can be very, very blessed. Now, somebody might come over with a bunch of zucchinis for you. It's not all about food, but obviously that is something that our body, the 1st house, needs food to survive and thrive. These 2nd house things are the resources that we need to survive and to thrive and to take care of our body. So positive energy around food, but also other resources like shelter, clothing, money, things like that. It's also a good time, well, you might be very fortunate as well to be able to invest in practical endeavors, because Jupiter, get my words out, Jupiter is in the 6th house of our everyday life and our everyday routine, giving blessing to the 2nd house of our resources. So this can give good fortune to any practical endeavors that support your daily life. So you can make money from everyday things. On the 6th, that might mean selling things that you've made in your kitchen or things that you've had in storage. So if you need to, you know, do a spring clean and offload a heap of stuff on Facebook Buy, Swap and Sell, do it on this day. You'll get great results and probably generate a lot of money for yourself. Using your voice in some way can also be very beneficial. That might mean doing a podcast, doing an interview, doing some sort of a video or something like that where you're using your voice, or speaking on the radio, or anything that requires speaking on the telephone. Like, using your voice is blessed. Not only that, but you might receive something from your family. This is a house that's connected to family, and it could be something very practical. Remember, Jupiter is in the very practical house of the 6th house, and so it could be that you receive grandma's chutney recipe and you realize, you know what, I could make money out of this, you know, selling grandma's chutney or something like that. And you know, it's really unique and the family's always loved it. So you receive something from your family handed down the family line that you can actually turn a buck from. So don't be surprised if you get opportunities like that come your way. Keep your eyes peeled, Virgo, because you never know what could land in your lap in that regard. Okay, Leo rising, sun or moon people. Well, the energy of Venus in Libra, trine to Jupiter at 24 degrees. Remember, if you've got planets around 24 degrees of either Aquarius or Libra, then you are going to be heavily under this influence. But it's occurring for you or being felt for you in the third house where Venus is residing. And this is connected to getting positive dynamics happening between your friends, with siblings, with neighbors, with relatives, and there can be good fortune that comes your way from those people. Now, it could be something very practical, like maybe the neighbor bakes you a cake or something like that, or gives you some homegrown pumpkins or whatever. But it could be even more than that. It could be that you're gifted something by your sibling, who says, well, look, hey, I don't want this jewelry that was left to me by grandma, so here, you have it, and you end up with something really worthwhile. So there could be some good fortune or blessing that comes through some of these people. There can also be good fortune and blessing with your own business, with your own skills, with your own talents. It's also a good time to invest in those things. They're going to pay off. So if you need to up your skill levels, if you need to get a certificate for something, enroll in a course now. If you need to sort of buy something for your own business, do so under this energy. It's going to pay off. And remember that Jupiter is in the 7th house. So this is an excellent day for contracts and for legal matters. Both of these houses, both the 3rd house and the 7th house, have to do with legalities and legal contracts. So administration is 3rd house and contracts is the 7th house. So if you've got a contract to sign or a loan agreement that you want to enter into, look at it on this day, getting those administrative tasks and legal matters sorted. Collaboration's also favored, a good day for connecting and partnering with somebody on a project or something. And of course, you might receive some compliments or gifts or something from a partner as well, with Jupiter in your 7th house of partnership, Leo. So somebody might give you something wonderful that lifts your spirits and puts you in a beautiful mental space, because this is the house of the mind and how we think, and it's through a compliment from somebody or a gift or something that we can go to a very healthy mental space in our lives. So that's what we're seeing with Leo rising. What about Cancer rising? Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Cancer moon people, even Cancer stellium if you've got one. So with this energy, you're going to be feeling very deeply satisfied, joyful, and at peace, like all is well with the world. You'll feel secure and stable. The 4th house is where our heart is, and Venusian things are going to help to balance our emotions on the 6th of September. So that might mean having an indulgent ice cream, or lashing out and buying that special chocolate sauce that you saw in the supermarket or something. Doing something Venusian, indulging, treating yourself, doing something special, having pleasure, that is going to really balance you and help you feel really good. So, if it's not going to burst the bank, go and enjoy what life has to offer you, and it'll help create a strong emotional foundation on the 6th of September and help you feel satisfied. It's also a great energy if you need to transform your home or your domestic life as well. If you need to make change there, if you need to sort of rebirth how things are functioning for you in your home environment, because Jupiter is in the 8th house of change and transformation and rebirthing. So a good day if you need to make investments, Venus's investments, that are going to renovate your home. Maybe you need a new paintwork or a new wallpaper or something like that. It's a good day for purchasing that sort of thing, or signing up somebody to come and do a renovation for you or something. Jupiter in the 8th house also makes it a good day for purchasing real estate if you have a goal to renovate or transform the property. So just buying it because you just want to move in and put your feet up, the energy is not so supportive for that. It's not unusable energy, but it's better if you're looking at buying something that you need to renovate or restore or transform in some way, because Jupiter is in the 8th house of transformation to the 4th house of real estate. It's also very good if you want to buy a house and use it in some way, or buy a property of any sort and use it for esoteric, astrological, or metaphysical purposes. You want to hold meetings there, or you want to run an astrology school, or whatever. It's a very, very good day if those are the goals you have with your real estate purchases. So if you're looking at anything like that, Cancer people, then go for it on the 6th of September. The universe has your back. Okay, if we're Gemini rising, Sun or Moon people, here we go. The energy for you is falling in the lucky 5th house and making a trine to Jupiter in the lucky 9th house. Two very blessed houses. So Gemini, you've got it good this week. It's really going to be doing good things for you. So the 5th house, where Venus is sitting here at 24 degrees, if you've got planets around there, it's going to be felt by you. The 5th house is what we love and what brings us joy. And so what we love, what brings us joy, is likely to be our female Venus friends on this day, our female connections. Venus energy. What brings us joy, what we love on this day, might be our children, or our lover, or our hobbies, or putting our creative intelligence out there to the world. These are all 5th house things, and they're going to be amplified under Jupiter's energy and Venus's beautiful benevolent shining in its own sign. So all of these things can be blessed and can bring you good fortune or opportunities. Your children can bring you good opportunities today. You might meet somebody through your children, for example, who changes your life in some way. You might invest in something with your lover, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, and it really pays off in the long run. You might have an opportunity that comes from one of your hobbies. You know, you start an Etsy store and everybody's buying. This is a good day of benevolence for those sorts of things. So invest in love, invest in children, and also invest in your own self-love, which is also a 5th house thing as well. Now, it's a great day for parties. It's a great day for celebrations. Jupiter's in the 9th, and Jupiter rules the celebrations of the more formal variety, like, you know, not Jupiter. The 9th house rules things like weddings, christenings, those sort of formal and somewhat religious celebrations. And the 5th house is just fun. So combine joy and celebration and parties and fun, and here we go. It's going to be a great day. Play games, have fun, enjoy the pleasures of life, Gemini. It's all coming your way. You might even get a very lucky break in some way too. Now, if we are Taurus rising, Sun or Moon people, the energy of this particular gorgeous little trine that's happening on the 6th of September is occurring between Venus in Libra to Jupiter in Aquarius in your 6th and 10th houses. So of course the focus is very much on career and work here. Strong focus on bringing success to your work. So you can be very blessed through your employees or through your bosses as well. Opportunities will come from these people into your life. You'll have a good rapport with them. There might be a party-like atmosphere at work because Venus is pleasure and indulgence and joy, and Jupiter is quite expansive and it can be fun-loving as well. So there can be joy in the workplace, which is wonderful. We need a bit of that every now and again, don't we? Jupiter in the 10th house as well can indicate that luck and expansion of your career, which is 10th house things, can come to you through your own hard work and your own endeavors, 6th house. And because you may be very consistent and persevering with the work that you've put in, then big bosses in the 10th house can say, wow, what a great job you've done here. We need to reward you. So very rewarding energy. And look, the beautiful Venus energy in the 6th house can come to your daily activities. There's just might be, that routine that you've got of getting up and doing your yoga and then doing some sort of a meditation and then cooking breakfast for the kids. Those daily routines can suddenly be filled with more joy. And they might be very ordinary, they might be very mundane things, but you may just find, Taurus, that there's so much delight and pleasure in it. And if you focus on the moment that you're in and enjoying the moment that you're in, what a gift that this beautiful combination can be to your life. So I'm loving it. If you are Aries rising, Sun or Moon people, well, you guys have the energy of this beautiful benevolent trine running between your 7th house Venus in Libra to Jupiter in the, what have we got there? The 11th house at 24 degrees. And if you have planets at 24 degrees, you will probably notice this more pertinently. Well, this is the 7th house lord in the 7th house. Venus rules Libra. So that gives a great strength to this angular house for you, Aries, and it gives heightened pleasure that comes your way in relationships. You're going to feel good about your relationships, good about your partnerships, good about your connections. So there can be good times had in your relationships now. There can be gifts and blessings that come your way from a partner. You might give a gift and a blessing to your partner as well, and why not? It's a great energy to do that under. It will be well received and met with delight and probably create some very joyous experiences for you. It may even herald a new connection that comes into the lives of some people, especially if they have their descendant degree at around 24 degrees of Libra. You might meet somebody who, and I'm not saying a lover or something, but just somebody who brings more joy and wonder into your life, more blessing. That can be, of course, wonderful because Jupiter's in the 11th house of gainfulness. So you might gain a new friend, a new connection that's really, a blessing on your life. And in the gainful 11th house, it's a fabulous energy for making new contacts, yes, but also doing negotiations, making trade agreements and doing deals and creating more networks as well. So it's a day to help you move closer to your goals and your dreams through the collaborative support of other people. So if you have a goal, a dream that can only be accomplished by connecting with another person and collaborating with somebody else, if you can't do it on your own, then send up a prayer to the universe for that right person to come into your life to help make it happen. This is the day when the miracles can unfold in that regard. So don't be surprised to see dreams and goals start to manifest stronger for you under this beautiful benevolent energy. All right, Pisces rising, sun or moon people. Well, yes, rising sun or moon people, I'll get it right. We have Venus in our 8th house as the 8th house lord at 24 degrees, making a trine to Jupiter in Aquarius at 24 degrees. So if you've got planets around 24 degrees of either of those, you're likely to feel this. Well, this means that blessing and opportunity can come our way through the mystical side of life. Maybe a shaman blesses us, or an astrology reading blesses us, or a psychic blesses us. So it's a wonderful day to go and have a reading with such people, or to get a chakra healing, or to visit with a shaman or something, because all these things are 8th house things, and blessing is flowing to the 8th house from Jupiter under this energy. It's a beautifully uplifting spiritual day for Pisces people. Of course, they will love to feel that. But the goal of the 8th house is to take us into greater spiritual consciousness and awareness. So Jupiter trine to Venus can be a very pleasurable move into greater consciousness that occurs for Pisces people. It indicates transformation that is blessed, that is easy, and that's delightful. Jupiter is in your 12th house, Pisces, so it can, making a trine to your 8th house of lucky windfalls, inheritances. It could mean that you discover some hidden money, or you get an inheritance or a lucky windfall that's actually quite karmic or divinely orchestrated. Your good karma, Jupiter is the planet of good karma, can bring you blessing. The planet of good karma here in the house of past lives. So for a lot of Pisces people, they might be getting their just desserts in the most beautiful, benevolent way with this. We can also feel very sexually alive under this energy. Pleasure, delight, sensual joy in the bedroom, because this is the house of bedroom pleasures, making a beautiful, healthy aspect to the 8th house, which is the house of sex and deep intimacy. So if you are in a position to enjoy that sort of thing in your life, then you're going to get a lot of pleasure, a lot of delight, and a lot of sensual joy out of this. It's also going to be good energy to be able to see what's previously been hidden. Things can be revealed and they're suddenly made clear to you in a most blessed way. So I'm not talking about sneaky deals that suddenly come to light. I'm talking about somebody was doing something beneficial behind your back and then you're made aware of it. Or somebody was orchestrating some sort of gift or some sort of blessing to you, and it comes your way, that what was hidden now is revealed, but in a really kindly sense. It's also a great energy for financial, spiritual, moral, and emotional support, that you'll have that available to you in abundance, Pisces. So what a great day for Pisces people. Yay! Okay, Aquarius rising, sun or moon people. The energy of this combo of Venus trine to Jupiter from Libra 24 degrees to Aquarius 24 degrees. Well, obviously it's occurring between your 9th and your 1st houses. And if you have planets around 24 degrees, or if you have your AC at 24 degrees, you're going to feel this quite strongly. And it's an energy of abundance and wealth and prosperous opportunities that are on your doorstep on this day, the 6th of September. So you may discover your truth, some sort of knowledge that empowers you. And you'll get a lot of pleasure out of gaining some sort of higher knowledge, or through exploring some new place that expands your horizons and expands your understanding. There could be great enlightenment that comes with this energy. And celebrations and ceremonies are seen from the 9th house as well, of a sort of the ceremonial kind, like weddings, like christenings, that kind of thing. And so if you're involved in any of those sort of ceremonial practices, they will be very uplifting for you. Equally, if you want to do your own ceremony, create a ceremony, you're going to be quite elated by that, quite delighted by that, feel in a really good space because of a ceremony that you undertake. Jupiter is in your 1st house, and Jupiter is our good karma, and in the house of the first, in the 1st house rather, it's good karma from the deeds that we have enacted in our current lifetime. So your previous actions can bring you blessing now, they can fruit for you now. I'm talking about the actions of this lifetime. For Pisces, it's the good actions of past lifetimes that could be paying off for them. But for you Aquarians, it's blessing that comes from Jupiter, the planet of good karma, in the house of your actions, your instigations, your entrepreneurial endeavors, your, startup ideas, your creativity. So in that sense, you could see a lot of blessing come your way, and it's fruiting for something that you may have established even 12 years ago when Jupiter was last in the sign of Aquarius. That's what I'm seeing for Aquarius rising, sun or moon people. Now Capricorn rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Jupiter making a beautiful trine to your Libran Venus here at 24 degrees. That's occurring for you between the 10th house and the 2nd house. So there is financial reward here for your career efforts, Capricorn people. Very, very exciting, especially if you have planets around 24 degrees. Bosses can give you blessing. Governments can somehow act in your favor. Lawyers can act in your favor. Judges can decide in your favor. So if you're in a court case, this could be a really good day to get a decision. Getting a raise, getting a promotion, or developing a better reputation can happen with this energy. Something might occur that really lifts you up to a higher level. You might have a lot more delight and pleasure in creating some sort of legacy. Like you might have a dream to leave something behind when you're gone. I want to write a book, or I want to leave a beautiful album that I've created, or whatever it is that you want to leave as a legacy for people who come after you in life. Well, there is delight in creating that legacy under this energy, and finances can come your way. Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter is the planet of wealth. Venus is money, and here is Jupiter in the 2nd house of resources that we generate. So finances can come your way that will support the creation of a legacy. You might suddenly discover there's a bit of money in a bank account that you'd forgotten all about, and there it is, and oh my God, well, I can put that to recording that album that I want to record or something. The path to success is seen through the 10th house, and it lies in, on this day, having more joy, having more happiness. The more joy that we can generate about our career and about our legacy we want to create and so on, the more greater the results can be. So do what you love and love what you do on this day, and you will generate a happiness and a blessing and prosperity with your career and the legacy that you want to leave. There can also be a lot of joy that you experience with leadership today, pleasure in leading others, pleasure in guiding others or counseling others. A lot of public approval comes with this combination as well. Also, it's the house of our father. And so father figures, it could be your actual blood father, or it could be someone who is like a father to you. They may be blessed. Their lives might, be uplifted in some way or blessed in some way under this energy as well. Okay, so Sagittarius rising, sun or moon people, the beautiful benevolent trine between the benefic Jupiter and the benefic Venus is occurring between your 11th house, Libra, and Aquarius, your 3rd house at 24 degrees. And if you have any planets at 24 degrees of these signs, then you are likely to experience this in a stronger way. Venus is in your 11th house, and this is where we can make money. We can make money through our 11th house. And so with Venus here, just temporarily, it's not in your natal chart unless you've got it in your natal chart, but you can make money through beauty, through design, through art, nature, fashion, culture. So it might mean that you invest in some of those Venusian things. A friend wants to start up a makeup company and she wonders if you'll be a backer. Well, this would be a good day to do so. If your natal chart indicates that you would do well from that, then do it on this day. The universe would have your back. Jupiter's also in the 3rd house, and if you have a small business and you're dealing with any of these things, if you want to start a makeup line of your own, then this is the day to launch it. This is the day to get it going. If you have a small business dealing with Venusian things, then you can receive a lot of blessing, a lot of opportunities, a lot of good fortune. I would encourage you, Sagittarius people, to invest in your dreams on the 6th of September. Invest in your small business on the 6th of September. Invest in your talents. Invest in your skills. You might need to, do an extra course or get a certificate in something or develop a skill set. It's going to pay off in the long run, because both the 11th house and the 3rd house are upachaya houses, houses that improve and get better and give better results with time. So whatever you invest in now, over time, is going to give better results. I would say, because these are both very, very social houses as well, that you're going to feel like having more fun with your friends. And so do so. Make the most of that energetic feeling. Enjoy, delight, do something indulgent with your networks and social circles. And you never know what blessing and opportunities might come out of it under this energy. And finally, thanks for hanging in there till last, my gorgeous Sagittarius people. You guys are having this lovely trine between the two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, falling in the 12th house, Venus, and your 4th house with Jupiter. Now, there is good karma available to you on the 6th of September, especially if you've got planets around 24 degrees. Good karma from your family lineage, your maternal line. Blessings can come from ancestors. This is the house of our deceased ancestors, and this is the house of our maternally existing line, our grandma, our mom, our aunts, and so forth. So blessing can come from these people. Blessing can come from ancestors who are deceased, sort of pulling some strings behind the scenes as well. So good fortune can come also from land and faraway places for Scorpio people on this day. In fact, if you've been considering taking an overseas trip or thinking about an overseas property investment, or even thinking about moving overseas, then it's a good day to take action or to proceed with those ideas, because the universe is giving good energetic foundations for those things to manifest. So I've been thinking about it and wondering, should you, shouldn't you? Well, maybe make a move on this day and it could really play off. There might be some opportunity that opens itself up for you with those things. There can be also easy liberation from old behaviors and old habits. It's easy to break them under this energy. This is a house of loss. This is a house where it's also a house where we can have some sort of past life energies that keep repeating and circling in our lives. And this is our emotional foundation, the 4th house. So the beautiful benevolent combination between this house and this house can make it easier to let go of those things, especially as this is the house of loss. 12th house is the house of loss. We can lose those attitudes and beliefs that are part of our emotional foundation that aren't doing us any good. We can let them go. We can release them. Easy liberation here. Take the opportunity to also escape in pleasurable ways. A day spa, a massage, a facial, a mini retreat. You will delight in that. It will bring you joy. There will be an abundance of pleasure in experiencing those kinds of escapist, joyful, delightful Venusian things on the 6th of September. So my lovely friends, that's our whiz around the horoscope and how it will be playing out this week. Let's close, as I always do, with a prayer. Energy of love in the universe. What interesting days we are living in. We thank you that this week's energy looks supportive and blessed through many trines and a new moon. We thank you especially for the benefic connection between Jupiter and Venus. May we have our eyes peeled for every good opportunity that comes our way. May we delight in what is given us. May we find pleasure in the moment so that the vibration is lifted on the earth and we see good things unfold. And so it is. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'll have another Astro Weather Report for you next week.